Okay, great. So there is, Mindy has reminded me that we have a question and answer chat box for each of you as attendees. So as we're going through this, if you feel like you'd like some clarification of what I've just mentioned, or anyone else that speaks today, if you want, please go ahead and type in on the question and answer chat box. We will try to pause and answer those questions as we go. If it's going to be covered later on, then I'll just tell you, yeah, we're going to cover that in a few minutes. So that's fine. So no harm, no foul there. And then at the end of today's conference, whether you're on live or you're watching and listening to this later in a canned presentation, we value your input. So when you're completing the viewing, we're going to return a survey in your inbox according to what you've registered with the webinar today. So please respond kindly, but respond with the survey, so where we can gather up that information. It helps us. So today, I thank you for attending. This is an exciting time for our conference. We have the Kansas SBDC created what we call Encountering Innovation Conference back in 2017 after we met one of the DoD Tech Scouts. I was privileged to meet Brett Sheringhausen with US CENTCOM at a conference down in Austin in the end of 2016 at what's called Tech Connect. We've since then established the Encountering Innovation Conference as an attraction to be able to bring in innovators, and one of our focuses is the SBIR program. So hopefully this slide gives you a little bit of an idea as to what we're trying to do. We work through multiple state SBDCs, and we continue to reach out to various small business development centers to be able to work with our clients that come to the conference. Our conference is a 1 week established moment in time, but our service is ongoing. So part of the graphic here is to give you that idea, to understand that we may not be your typical conference. Our conference is an attraction to work with you to help you commercialize your innovation. It is not, we do not do the conference as the end all to what we do. It's the beginning of what we do. So today we have with us several of the people that will be bringing SBIR content to you and services for you over the coming weeks. And so I'd like to give a shout out and let them say hi and give us a minute or two of what they do and who they are. So I'll start out with Marisol Rodriguez with Sharp Hub. Marisol? You're still on mute if you're talking.
Okay, thank you, Alan. First of all, thank you and all the team for allowing me to present. My name is Marisol Rodriguez, and I am the Sharp Hub manager. I hear an echo.
And Marisol, could you give us just a brief overview of Sharp Hub and the service, and part of what you'll be covering in August, on August 28th?
Yes, totally. Excellent. Sharp Hub is a program funded by NIH, the National Institute of Health, and we have the goal of helping life science entrepreneurs translate their innovation into the marketplace. Sharp Hub started back in fall 2018, and the program leads are BBC Entrepreneurial Training and Consulting and the University of Kansas. Sharp Hub services are provided to no cost to companies that are accepted into the program. And some of these services are early stage funding, meaning that we help entrepreneurs apply for SBIR and STTR grants. We have a mentoring, assessment, and planning program. We have some virtual classrooms, and we provide or facilitate networking events. And all of this with the goal of helping entrepreneurs or innovators, like I said in the beginning, translate their research into the marketplace. To be part of our program, it has to be a life science entrepreneur, and it has to be located in one of the 5 SHARHOP states: North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma. So we offer these services to anybody who meets these qualifications and is willing to work with us and work with the consultant and provide information and participate in all the events that we have. And another goal is to help the whole ecosystem within the Midwest. So we increase the SBIR, STTR applications, and we get the entrepreneurs that are within the Midwest to know each other and helping each other. Because as we know, applying for SBIR is a very complex process, and the more assistance and the more services entrepreneurs can take advantage of, it's gonna be better for all of us.
Very good. Thank you, Marisol. So for those of you that are, whether you're in life sciences, medical type or not, coming to the August 28th webinar will be very beneficial to help you understand how we reach out to and are learning to reach out to various resource partners for this ecosystem. This entire program is really in the early stages of trying to learn who each other is and how, as an innovator, how you can utilize those services. Your limited resource you may think is money, but it's truly your own self. You're the person that you are and the people you have on your team. You cannot just keep working 24/7. So you need some of the expertise, which is what is here today. So part of this overview is to help you understand who some of these tools are that you can access. So next, I'd like to bring up John Matecki with Tech Warrior Enterprise. John, if you'll give us a brief overview of who Tech Warrior is, how they're funded, and then what you'll be doing for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today, Alan. And it's great to see you folks on the line. It's almost every time we get together, it feels like a homecoming, a family reunion. So for those of you that are listening, and if you've got any hesitation to join the bigger party, do so, because these folks will become your family, and just the stuff that they can help you business-wise and life-wise is just worth that alone right there. So a little bit about the Tech Warrior Enterprise. I'm fortunate enough to just be kind of the lead for the program, but I got an amazing partner, Dan Demota, who helps me out with this. He's my tag team partner. We're defending champions across the world. So what we do is give you two rundowns of what we do. So let's go non-COVID, which hopefully we get to at some point soon. So in a non-COVID environment, we will bring folks together with their small businesses from around the country, take your technologies and run them in scenarios that are most realistic to Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, those different combat environments to test and see if it'll work. What we also do is we'll bring in end users, so actual folks that wear the uniform. So if you're working on a device, or let's say you've got a device for handcuffs, it doesn't make sense for you to go talk to a firefighter. While they are first responders and can give you great feedback, you probably want to talk to a law enforcement person that actually uses handcuffs. So we'll bring in someone who's got extensive use of handcuffs and give you feedback on your handcuffs so that you're getting it from your end user. So A, you're getting feedback from your customer, and then you're getting the customer's buy-in and their help shaping your product. So that's what we would do in a non-COVID environment, bring folks together. We normally average about 40-ish companies together. A lot of great collisions that happen between companies that build bigger, better products. And then in the COVID environment, what we're doing and what we're going to be doing for the Encounter Innovation pieces, we're doing virtual piece to this, which is very challenging because I can't, short of having you send your stuff to me, I play with it, then send it back to you. It gets a little bit uncost effective. So what we're doing is we're gonna have folks sign up, and then we wanna go back to grade school. For some of you, that probably wasn't too long ago, but for old timers like myself, that's a while ago. So you gotta turn back time, like Cher says, and think back in grade school, we probably all participated in a show and tell. That's really what we want, is a show and tell of, don't tell me you have a nice fluffy dog. Bring your dog on screen. Show me that your dog has long hair. Show me that when you rub your dog's belly, its leg goes crazy. That's what we want your prototype. Whether that's bringing it to the actual table and showing us it, or if you've got a video that demonstrates exactly what it does. So that's what we'll be doing in support of the Encountering Innovation. I'll go into more depth August 7th in the Lunch and Learn. But again, the key word I think you're going to hear for most of the day is our services are free. So if you were to hire me as a consultant, I'd probably charge you way too much and you tell me I'm out of my mind. Our services are free because we are under contract with the Air Force SBIR, STTR program. So what we do is our biggest job is bird dogging. So we'll listen to you, and if it's something that we can't physically help you with, Ellen's team could probably help you with it. If they can't help you with it, Lori's team could probably help you. So we try to point you in the right direction while testing your technology, giving you the best feedback. So we're funded by them. We just try to push people in the right direction because at the end of the day, I'm only one person and I don't want any credit for anything that I do. I want the warfighter who I probably know personally. I've done 20 years retired Air Force. My partner Dan in this has done 22 years retired Air Force, multiple combat deployments between the two of us. We still have brothers and sisters out on that front line. So if we can get one product that saves someone's lives, it's all worth it. So I'll be around if you got questions as this goes on, and I look forward to talking to you all again on August 7th. Again, thank you so much for having me as part of this, Alan. It's a blessing. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John. I appreciate you attending. So Kim Yoder's our next one. She's not here today, but she's the director over contracts for Air Force SBIR. Now, Air Force SBIR has more funds, if I'm not mistaken, than any other program within the Department of Defense. So there's a lot of money. We had the privilege of listening to her several weeks ago in the virtual event with Tech Warrior Enterprise that we had back in April. We're going to be bringing back her conversation and adding to it with her attending on August the 21st and giving you live Q&A. So that one is a 70-minute presentation, but Bill Carey, our science advisor, told us he is also our multiple winner of SBIR and STTR. He's the one that if you apply for Encountering Innovation, you will encounter Bill at some point. He is busy right now supporting our resource partners off to the west of us, Kamar Gartman and the Catalyst campus in Colorado Springs. But what Kim is doing is giving us very specific information with the SBIR from a contracting point of view. And when we got through listening to her, Bill said, in all the years I've heard presentations, Kim Yoder really does a great job of describing the SBIR program from the contract point of view, very factual. And I'm not knocking the salespeople, but she really did a good job of demystifying. And Bill Carey, our science advisor and winner of multiple SBIR and STTR awards before coming on board working with us, and as a small business person, told us that Kim Yoder, that was the best conversation or presentation and explanation of SBIR of any he had heard since he'd been doing this. So I highly recommend you join us August the 21st. We will do some breaking, or we're planning on cutting up part of her program over the next few weeks. So as we review it, we'll give you snippets of that. But she will be live on August 21st for a live Q&A. All right, with that in mind, then next we have with us Laurie Moncrief. I had the privilege of meeting her back in 2018 at Huntsville, Alabama, at the program that Terry Griffin does. And she was with Defense Works and is now, has been the founder of Reset and is working with us to perform some training with SBIR, but particularly with a focus of commercialization, regardless of where that comes from. All right, Laurie, I'll turn it over to you.
So appreciate the invitation, and good to be back and looking forward to encountering innovation. So Reset is actually a nonprofit I formed in 2011. Our focus is on advanced manufacturing, workforce development, and assistance with commercialization on hardware products. So we're in the midst of building out that program as we speak. And I'm going to be working with Kansas and Oklahoma on tying in a lot of resources that we've built over the years to assist innovators. So
Great.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Laurie. I've told several people in our program that every time I talk to Laurie, I learn something. She's been very good to be able to give me insight. And I will tell you that as we go forward, that's not easy to do. You can really know what you're talking about and talk about it in a way that maybe no one else understands. And that's a challenge for each of you that are innovators. If we talk in that fashion, that doesn't work too well. And so you've got to learn. So once again, we're encouraging, and I see I don't have my Q&A up. So because we went off screen, am I still there? Give me just a second, make sure. Okay, all right, I'm back to where I was, I think. So now we're going into the actual presentation or overview to try to help you understand. You've been given a little bit of why you need to come back over the next few weeks with Lunch and Learn. Now we're going to give you an overview and some of the meat to the sandwich here of why you should be looking at Encountering Innovation Conference, as well as the SBDC as a ongoing partner for you, whether you're in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, South, North Dakota, Missouri, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado. We're very excited to have Colorado participating with us this year. Wyoming, we haven't had any, I don't believe, maybe one from Montana. So a quick over, and then now Iowa, very excited. We had a conversation and presentation with their blog yesterday in Iowa. So I think I've covered everybody in a very quick overview. So if I didn't, Vicki, send me something and tell me. So what we're doing here is helping you understand that the Encountering Innovation Conference is, to me, it's kind of like a tornado. If we take a tornado and pull it up, everything underneath it in a vector is being pulled up into that vortex. What we want you to understand is that the Department of Defense does so much business that they have a huge need. They are looking for innovation on an ongoing basis. They need innovation, number one, to solve their current needs. They need an innovation, second of all, to outpace their enemies. As they tell us, they don't want to ever go into any war, any conflict in a fair fight. And so you, the innovator, help make that possible, whether it's your innovation singularly or your innovation as part of a group of innovations. So what we're trying to do is use the collaboration, the collaborative effect of Encountering Innovation as a conference to attract you as the innovator to come and pitch to the Department of Defense tech scouts that are spending as much as $85 billion per year in assessing, testing, science, and prototyping, prototype testing, as well as understanding that along with that process, generally a 2-year process at minimum, that you have the SBIR program, which spends over $3.5 billion per year with 11 federal agencies, of which the DoD has half of. So when you look at it from Marisol talking about referring to NIH and NSF, there are 11 agencies. So your opportunity with DoD goes much further than just bullets and armor. And most people think of it as bullets and armor. That's not the case. So as we deep dive a little bit with the SBIR, Small Business Innovation Research, and then the STTR, which is basically forcing you to work with a nonprofit university lab focus, whereas SBIR, it's encouraged. So they're very similar. Either of these, for you to participate, there's a few facts. You've got to be a for-profit organization. You have to be U.S. owned and operated and under 500 people. Basically, the SBA's focus definition for small business. That doesn't seem to be much of a challenge for the clients that we work with. Second of all, you must do your work inside the United States. Some people, that does present a challenge. So we make sure that you understand that. Number 3, the focus is understanding that what you're doing is research and development. It is, and this is, I'm taking this information directly from SBIR.gov. It is not purchasing equipment, commercializing a technology that has already been developed, or one that has very low risk and only needs capital. Now, understanding that in the spectrum of SBIR, we have NIH and NSF, USDA, and some of the others that are looking at what I would call nascent innovation, very organic. You've got an idea and what we call TRL, technical readiness level. You may be at an idea or a 1. You may be at a level of 2, or you may be all the way to 6 or 7. If you're at 6 or 7, then the DoD, Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, these organizations are looking more in their SBIR program at what you can commercialize much quicker. So what we're trying to help you understand that the SBIR has a full spectrum of need and TRL for you. So what you may be able to bring to Air Force, if you're early enough, you may actually be able to take it to NIH or NSF. We'll talk about those in the weeks ahead. I give you a link here, so whenever Mindy sends out the survey, you'll get this link so you can go to SBIR.gov and look at the solicitations as a preview. This is the SBIR fund is a congressional act, so if Congress does not act on this, it does go away. It's been here since 1982 and continues. All right, so now then we've talked about SBIR. Now let's do a little demystifying with DoD. The DoD combatant commands have 6 regional locations. They basically take the earth and split it into 6 sections. We have CENTCOM, Central Command. We have EUCOM, or the European Command, AFRICOM, Indo-PACOM, Indian and Pacific Ocean. They're the largest territory. NORTHCOM, North America, and SOUTHCOM, South America Command. So those are our regions. Then we have services, SPACECOM, the newest, SOCOM, STRATCOM, TRANSCOM, CyberCom, and Joint Forces, or JFCOM. Then we give you the link to be able to look up these services and understand the difference in regions and services of the commands. So we have our DoD combatant commands that have identified needs for their service or for their region. In all of their regions and all of their services, we have the armed forces, the ones we just mentioned. So that helps you understand how the command works. Their needs are basically two types of needs. They're overarching needs, such as we need to cut 10% out of our costs for energy, or we need to lower the energy demand. So either way, if you've discovered a way that can bring to lower the energy cost, or you can lower the demand for energy, you may be able to supply part of their solution to part of their need. Or it's an urgent need in order to stay in front of the enemy, such as defeating the swarms of a UAV or UAS system, or the rapid response to the pandemic infectious diseases that we've seen, in our case, just happened this year. So COVID-19 created an instantaneous need that created a call up for some of you that may be on here today, or in the weeks past, we've contacted you about applying in that case. So continually preparing to meet the opportunity. What we're trying to do then is take your intake with the Encountering Innovation in such a way that we prepare you to where you can meet with the Department of Defense Tech Scouts. But at the same time, whether you participate in the conference as a pitch or a poster board, or you don't participate. We have clients from 2017 we continue to track that pulled out of 2017 conference and did not participate, but they're still part of our program. If you pull out, we're not like, oh, well, you ruined our conference for us, so we're not going to work with you. We are the SBDC program. So what we do is support you and work with you to help you commercialize whatever it is your innovation is as an ongoing program. The conference just happens to be a one moment in time. So the SBIR program has continued in some cases with their original 20 to 25 page application process. And Bill Carey does a great job, and we'll give you some information in the weeks to come to help demystify that process. At the same time, innovation is happening for our clients by watching different divisions or different agencies within the SBIR program alter the way they bring in innovation in order to supply their needs more quickly and more efficiently. Air Force SBIR is a good example. They've been doing sprints, and the last time we heard from them, Kim Yoder told us that they're migrating all of what they're doing to more of the sprint model. So what used to take 6 months is now down to 30 days. You'll hear from her more specifically in the weeks to come. So how does the Encountering Innovation process work? Basically, that you are over here in one of these intake conversations where we're talking to either accelerators, SBDC clients, inventors clubs. You may come on listening to this with one of the inventor clubs. You may be part of professors and part of the university, or the MEPs and their clients. So what we're trying to do is help you understand that we don't care where you came from with your innovation. We need your intake. If you apply, then we take up to a target of approximately 100 applications. Then Bill Carey, our science advisor and grant specialist, takes the DoD capability needs and matches those in a way to where he sees if there is a known need. Approximately 80% of our innovation that's applied, that innovators that apply will find a match for. We take a target of 20% or below, or what we call wild card. As Brett Scheringhausen said, we don't know what we don't know. So in that case, some of you are going to bring stuff to us that we've never heard of. We don't have a clue how that fits in with the DoD, and we keep that down to a budget of 20%. All of those come together with the clarification or qualification of your technical readiness level, from a 1 being an idea to a 9 being a completed product, commercialized and ready to distribute. we're targeting a level of 6, or as we call it, we need to know that you can commercialize your innovation within 12 months. Some of you in medical may have a TRL of 7, but you're 2 years or 3 years minimum out. Some of you may have a TRL of 4, but you tell us that I can actually bring mine to commercialization within 9 months. So the TRL number is one number, but the actual measurement that we use is how long it takes you to get to commercialization. This process is extremely collaborative. So whenever you apply, you'll see in the intake, first of all, you become a client. That's to protect you. When you become a client of ours, we cannot share your information. But you give us exception to that to where we can meet with and share portions of your information in a public venue, which is the public bluff, bottom line up front. So we will be able to market your innovation safely in a way to attract other innovators of interest, tech scouts, VCs or angel investment, or other companies that may be looking for your innovation. We will then take that Q&A, the question and answer, and process it in a way that we will return to you what the DoD needs, which is a quad chart and an information paper. Those two documents will be sent back to you in a way that you can edit them. So if you don't know one of the answers or you're not sure, just say, I don't know. I need to look that up. That's all. When you get your quad chart, your answers will be on there. If you put too much information, you'll visually be able to see that you've spoken. You put too much in one area. That's fine. Between your tech coach, your SBDC advisor, and your science advisor, our job over the coming weeks going into the Encountering Innovation Conference is to be able to help you clarify and edit that quad chart in such a way that it provides good communication between you, the innovation, and the person reading it, the tech scout. Then later we will take those two pieces of information edited, and we will then map your pitch deck and your poster board to where it makes it easier for you to have your documents ready for Encountering Innovation. We will cover that in more detail in the weeks to come as we do our lunch and learns. Your tech coach then will confirm your technical readiness level, get back with you and our science advisor to confirm that, to where then our science advisor, his job is to be able to take your TRL and your match. Those that come in, as you apply, your timestamp is basically the tiebreaker. So we don't make a judgment as to who should pitch other than from your technical readiness level or the ability to bring it to commercial distribution within 12 months, your match or the 20% wild card, and then those are the ones that will be pitching in our original Encountering Innovation conference. So the actual pitch at the conference is what we call the 992. If you are one of the ones selected to pitch, you're going to present your pitch will come in, you'll do 9 minutes of presentation, 9 minutes of collaboration, and then 2 minutes of confirmation of your scribe notes. So we will have a scribe virtually on site with you, to where as you speak, you'll be able to get your information without having to write those notes down. That's part of our job. Once again, we're trying to help you commercialize beyond this conference. So it's 992. As you go forward, we'll cover that in more detail and help you. After you get your documents, we'll actually prepare, and your tech coaches from the different states will establish times that you can practice your pitch. So we, the center, are working with our with our different tech coaches and our client information and our science advisor in order that you and your tech coach then participate together in the virtual conference with the pitch. It is an extremely collaborative conversation. What happens then is, as you're pitching, your tech scouts are listening to you. Some people talk about this like a Shark Tank. This is not Shark Tank in any fashion. What happens is, as you're speaking, your tech scouts are listening to you based on what they represent in their needs, along with what they know across the spectrum in the ecosystem. So they may talk about something that's a VA or even a private company that they have reference to. We had one year where the tech scout said, I got the contact with Under Armour. I'm going to give you their information. So then I've not been paying attention if we've had any questions at this point, but the pitch itself, then what happens after the pitch, then at the end of each day and then throughout the week, our tech scouts will be getting together and preparing their information in such a way that we ensure that you have valid to-do list, and then we encourage them to prepare for what's next. What will happen then is after the conference is over, we will give you your scribe notes, and with your tech coach, work with you with an action plan. In most cases, it will be editing your documents because of specific questions. Part of your preparation then is helping you to understand what the questions will be. What they'll ask you is how large, how small, how fast, how slow. Can you make this purple? We were in, the first conference I attended was in New York, a gentleman presenting an impulse engine. And they asked him, how small can you make this? And he quickly answered. He said, I can make it as small as a nickel. And they took note of that. So you need to be prepared for the questions that they will ask you, because they know what their needs are. We know a little bit of those needs, but in some cases they're classified, and they're going to ask you what seems like a strange question that you need to have the answer to as best you do. It's a collaborative process. If you don't know the answer, you tell them, I don't know. How fast can you get that to market? Well, under my own venue, the way I'm taking this to market, it will take me 18 months. Can you bring it to market sooner? Yes. How soon can you, and what would you need? You need to be able to tell them. This is where you tell the truth. I believe it'll take me $2 million, and I can get it to market in 8 months. Those are the kind of things that you need to have answers to, working with your tech coach to where you have those prepared. Okay, this is a reminder now as we start to wrap this up that we are working to make the party bigger. So the more to come, as you listened before, reminding you that some of the next week will be a continuation. We will unwrap the SBIR program a little better, give you a little bit more clarification, and then continue to push for our Encountering Innovation innovators to apply. We're going to be bringing back, or plan to bring back, some of our Encountering Innovation presenters from the past, those that can tell us the struggle, the good and the bad, to where you understand and help you, give you a better set of expectations with Encountering Innovation. So a reminder, we have Sharp Hub, Marisol and her team ready to help you. As you go forward, if you have needs now, we need to identify those and be able to get you to her and to her team more quickly. We have John Matecki with Tech Warrior Enterprise that will be giving us a presentation August the 7th for all of you that will be on board to help you prepare for your demonstration. We have not done that in the past. Air Force Director David Shahady and some of the Tech Scouts last year and several other of the programs were saying we need to see demonstrations. So we're bringing those to the program this year. And a lot of credit goes to Tech Warrior Enterprise by being able to give us that capability ahead of time to where you can get good information prior to you pitching at the conference. And then Lori Moncrief being able to give us very good feedback and information from commercializing perspective with SBIR now leading up to the conference and inside the conference, as there will be educational component within the conference itself. So what do you need to do? Next step is what we need you to do is look at Encountering Innovation, do the review of it, and then realize that you can go to Encountering Innovation and provide us the information. You can go ahead and apply anytime. Our contact information is available to you on Encountering Innovation website, as well as in the application. When you go to the application, you'll be able to get more information helping you understand what we've told you here, the different steps through the process, help you understand the TRL level, technical readiness level, to where you can define it more clearly, and then applying and understanding it's a collaborative process. It's not a test. Give us your best answers. You will have time to edit your information to where you'll have good documents and a good presentation at the conference. All right. These are every Friday at noon leading up to the conference. So we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Any questions?
Don't have any so far.
Is anyone still there? I hope they are. I cannot see the number of attendees, so I don't know who's here. I do know that for those of you that are listening to this after we've recorded it, we have our contact information here. Besides this information, encounteringinnovation.com, and then encounteringinnovation.com, the application. You can get to this application by just going here. I'm just giving you both links to where you understand, make it easy on you. Then realize that if you have questions and you feel like you need to talk to us, Vicki, our data coordinator, she's on with us today, Vicki Long. Here's her email address, EI, Encountering Innovation Admin, EIadmin at ksbdc.net. Myself and my email address, Badgley at ksbdc.net. My phone number that reaches to me, if you don't catch me live, leaving a message is very good because I can read what you said, and if I'm in a way where I'm in a conference and I can't get back to you by voice, a lot of times I can get back on an email and send you back information. So please give me good information that I can get back to you. And then our Encountering Innovation. This is also our website to Kansas SBDC. This is our statewide network. And then you can go there and see our tech commercialization information. Along with that, as we said before, we have Texas, Bijo Matthew and his team in Texas that is joining us. We have Barbara Bonner in Oklahoma. We've got Sharon King and her team in Colorado, and then Nebraska is doing their Encountering Innovation a week ahead of time. So if you're listening to this in Nebraska, reaching out to Tracy Hancock and Josh and her team. All others, reach to us and we will link you back to your SBDC folks either in Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Missouri, Arkansas. Anything that you that are still here, the team, Laurie, Mindy, John, Vicki, Marisol, anything you can think of that you'd like to reiterate or say?
Alan, we actually do have a couple of questions.
Okay, great.
The first question is, are sending prototypes to John possible during this time period or later?
Absolutely. If you want to send your actual device to us and have us play with it, we're more than happy to do that. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can reach out to us. Our email, this is where we're going to take up the rest of your time that you have left, Alan, because our email is so long now. It's TWEnterprise at WRIGHT -research.org. So if you send us an email there saying that you're interested in that, we'll reply back, get you a mailing address, and we'll go ahead and set that up. And then if that's something that you want to do in conjunction with the Encountering Innovation, us physically have it, we can work that process out and we'll get into more details. I don't want to steal my own thunder for the 7th. So yes.
So John, why don't you send me that email address, and Mindy, before you've got this presentation to send out, instead of sending the one you're going to send out, let me add that content on this final contact page. I will be glad to put that on there to where they have that information. And then I'll resend the PowerPoint. That way, when you send this out to everyone, they'll have that information.
Hey, Alan, somebody asked if you could put all of the contact info for the panelists on.
Perfect. As if they're willing to, I'll put it all, and we'll put it all on this last page or add a slide. That's perfect.
And somebody else was asking, when they signed in, they noticed that their next step is to be contacted by an advisor, and they were wondering if that's the next step of the process.
Repeat that. I'm not sure I caught that right.
Someone said that when I signed in, I noticed my next step is to be contacted by an advisor. Is this the process?
So going back in the slide, what will happen is if you've applied, then your application ends up with Vicki and Bill. We have to take that application and turn it into a quad chart and information paper. That actually takes human intervention. It's semi-automated. We don't cut and paste every word, but we take that information and put it in those two documents. If you've given us a science, if you've given us who referred you and they're on our tech coach list, then we will then next step send to you back your quad chart, your information paper, and we will send to your tech coach / business advisor your quad chart and information paper. If it's someone we do not know, which is why we ask certain questions in that intake, then we will reach out to them, have that conversation, and if they're good to go, then we'll send it to them and you. So we could be a little slower if it's someone we've not met with yet in South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, etc. So whoever it is, just tell us who it is, give us their name, email address, and phone number, and that information will go to them and yourself. Then you will get with your tech coach and the science advisor, Bill. And so we're talking quite a few people, and their information has to go through Bill. So that process, that portion of it takes more time, which is why we try to get you to apply early. Did that seem to solve it?
I think so.
Cool.
And then one last question. Alan, someone's wanting to know where in Kansas your office is located.
Okay, so I am out of the lead center, which is in Topeka. I physically reside in Wichita. I am no longer I used to be hosted out of Wichita State. We're now hosted out of Fort Hays State University in Hays, Kansas. So if you caught all that, you're doing pretty well. Is that it?
That's it. That's all we have for questions right now.
Okay, so once again, if you're wondering what to do and you're thinking, I'm interested, we didn't say this, but what I wanted to leave you with is understanding that I honestly do not know whether your innovation could meet the needs of the DoD. What I do know is that there's a greater chance that your innovation could solve one of their needs than it could not. Based on our history of all the people we've worked with, there's a much greater chance that it will. On the second part of that, will they take your innovation and will they contract with you? There is a less chance that they will than them actually contracting with you. Well then, Alan, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Why would I proceed? Because what will happen is you will, in a very low cost environment, have an extremely collaborative experience. You will be better off having met tech scouts from various entities across the greatest force on earth. We care more about this earth than I think anybody else. I'm very proud of our country and the people that we work with, our teammates, our innovators. You will learn from this process. We have brought on and working hard to try to bring Laurie Moncrief on in this. Laurie is not trying to represent solely DoD. She comes to us from the experience of DoD, but a background of commercialization from a private-public experience. What we're trying to do is help you commercialize whether it's DOD, DOE, DHS, FBI, VA, USDA, or NASA. It doesn't matter. Our job is to help you succeed. It's not to sell something to the DOD. The DOD just happens to be spending a lot of money, and we've got a really good process to sharpen your axe to where we can help you find your next tree to cut down so you can commercialize whatever it is you've got ready for. So I hope with that in mind, you jump on board and we can help improve what you're doing. We will have other innovators that have been through this process, and we will be presenting them in the weeks to come. Thank you for your time. God bless you.